Looks like things are about to explode behind the palace walls. Our fire starter is Princess Kate Middleton, and she just caught Camilla stealing the crown jewels. Oops! Is Camilla the one to truly blame, or was it about something else? Let's unravel this story bit by bit. It all began as many royal stories do, not with a loud scandal, but with a quiet moment inside Buckingham Palace. A glittering reception was in full swing, the kind where everything seemed to shine from the polished marble floors to the champagne glasses catching the glow of the chandeliers. These events are meant to run perfectly, without a single ripple. Yet, in the royal world, the biggest shifts often hide inside the smallest moments. At the center of the evening was young Princess Charlotte, wearing heirloom jewelry that looked almost too heavy for her small shoulders. These were not simple accessories. They carried generations of history, worn by queens at coronations, by princesses on their wedding days, and by monarchs in moments of deep national mourning. Then, all of a sudden, there was Camilla, standing just far enough away to keep the moment formal, yet close enough for the cameras to notice the glint in her eyes. It was not the warm sparkle of admiration. It was something else entirely, steady and calculating. In royal history, that kind of look often has come before a quiet, behind-the-scenes shift in who holds the true control over the jewels. But what happened next caught everyone off guard. So, in royal life, the crown jewels in the family's private collection belong to two very different worlds. The crown jewels, which include the coronation crown, the scepters, and the orbs, are symbols of the monarchy itself. They rest under heavy guard in the Tower of London, untouched and eternal. The family's private collection, however, is where the real politics unfold. Necklaces, tiaras, and brooches might be officially owned by the sovereign, or they might be private property. The line between the two has been blurred for centuries. Many pieces are given out on loan to family members for years at a time, and as history has shown, some of those loans quietly never find their way back. But when whispers reached Kate that some of the historic jewels had found their way into Camilla's personal collection without a clear record, she did not rush to confront her. Now, after more than a decade inside the royal machine, Kate understood that timing is everything, and proof is power. She began speaking discreetly to the palace archivist, the unseen guardians of the royal jewel records. In fact, it didn't take long for certain details to stand out, like brooches and necklaces were listed as on loan to Camilla with no return date, some coinciding with occasions. Or a kleptomaniac? We'll find out soon enough. One photograph in particular confirmed Kate's concern, and there's Camilla at a private family gathering, wearing an emerald brooch last seen on Queen Elizabeth II during a state visit in the 1980s. The king was away on official business when Kate made her move. Inside Kensington Palace, in a room lined with portraits of ancestors who had fought their own quiet battles, she confronted Camilla directly. Kate was calm on the outside, but with the firm tone of someone who would not be moved. What she addressed was not merely about jewels, it was, above all, about respect. And she stated, "This is the legacy my daughter will inherit." The very next week, Kate appeared at a high-profile gala wearing one of the ornaments caught in the tug-of-war, the emerald necklace, in full public view. No need for statements or press releases. The message was clear without a single word. The jewels are finally home.
Can I ask if the crown could be brought a little bit closer to the Queen?
This is what I do when I wear it.
Exactly.
Can I look at this end?
Yes, certainly.
I like the Black Princess ruby.
But this wasn't the first time something like this had happened. In fact, the British royal family has been here before, more than once. For example, Queen Mary, grandmother to Queen Elizabeth II, had quite the reputation when it came to jewels. She was known for her acquisitions, often persuading aristocratic widows to lend her their family treasures. Those were loans that somehow never found their way back. More than a few noble families eventually realized their heirloom necklace had quietly joined Mary's personal collection. This diamond and pearl tiara was originally made for Queen Mary, later passed down to Queen Elizabeth II, and eventually worn by Princess Diana. After her divorce, Diana returned it to the Queen, and for years it was out of sight. Then, decades later, out of nowhere, it appeared once more, this time on Kate's head. For the public, it was a picture-perfect moment. But behind palace doors, though, the return of such a symbolic piece carried its own hidden tides. Princess Margaret, the Queen's sister, had a well-known habit of borrowing pieces and taking her time returning them, sometimes far longer than protocol would suggest. However, the Queen never addressed it publicly, but within palace walls, discreet reminders would find their way to Margaret before certain public occasions, ensuring the jewels reappeared just in time. What makes Kate's rumored opinion stand out is that she's stepping into the role not only as the current wearer of these jewels, but as their silent guardian for the future. By holding her ground now, she's effectively safeguarding the collection for Princess Charlotte, making sure these historic pieces aren't gently diverted somewhere else. Camilla's journey to the crown was anything but straightforward, and she's long carried the weight of public doubt. This moment, exaggerated or not, feeds into that long-running perception. For many, it's an easy story to tell. Camilla as the calculated opportunist, Kate as the steady keeper of royal heritage, so on and on. In the weeks that followed, even the smallest public moments were picked apart, asking the question, was there a hint of reserve in Kate's smile? Imagine the public reaction when Kate appeared wearing sapphires, a gemstone forever linked to Diana, wondering if it was a simple choice or something quietly intentional. There is always a message between the lines. The palace, of course, has always understood the art of wordless theater. In this world, a jewel is never merely an ornament. It's a signal or marker of influence. Many would say a reminder of who holds the keys, or in this case, the box that locks away the tiaras.
Explore one of the key themes of the exhibition, which is how diamonds have been deployed by monarchs and other rulers over the centuries as visible symbols of wealth, power and status. So we are in an exceptional year. We're celebrating Her Majesty the Queen's Diamond Jubilee, and so
in the end, the jewels will outshine every passing headline. They've survived abdications, divorces, wars, and enough family drama to fill libraries. But the way they're handled now will shape how they are handed down, and of course, to whom. Kate's alleged stand against Camilla isn't just a petty falling out. Strip it down and it's just one note in the ongoing symphony of the crown's reinvention. But for those who understand royal history, the significance is crystal clear. In this family, you can lose a crown, but you never ever lose a diamond without a fight. So did Camilla cross the line, or is this just another carefully staged piece of royal theater to remind us that the monarchy is still alive, still glittering, and still capable of drama? One thing's for sure, the next time you see a tiara on Kate's head, you'll know it might be carrying a little more than just sparkle. Perhaps it bears the aftertaste of a win the royals aren't yet ready to let go. At the end of the day, the spotlight will move on, but behind the scenes, the pieces are still shifting on the royal chessboard. Was this just a passing headline, or the first subtle move in a much bigger game? Let us know your thoughts below. Click like and subscribe, because the next twist in the story might be closer and far more dramatic than anyone dares to imagine. Cheers!